are you? I've been replaying our conversation about you holding your breath in my head, and I'm not really sure how to present this, because ideally I would have a conversation with you during a session and ask some questions as to where you're holding your breath on the in-breath, on the out-breath. However, let's assume it's on the in-breath, and we're going to assume it happens when you're in the middle of a project, or if you're whatever you happen to be working on at the time. So when you notice it, because obviously you're aware you're doing it because you mentioned it. So when you notice it, the next step is to pay attention to what your body's doing. When you find yourself holding your breath, are your shoulders hunched? Is your neck tense? Is your belly uptight? Do you have a headache? There's certain key factors that go along with it. Usually when you're holding your breath, or if you're having trouble breathing, there's another body part that's involved. So for now, we're just going to assume that your shoulders are a little bit tense, and because you're future projecting, you're working on a project and you're either thinking about your time deadline, how it's going to turn out, something. So when you notice you're holding your breath, stop, run a body scan, find out what is the most affected part of your body while you're holding your breath. And then I want you to reposition yourself in your chair so that you're sitting with your knees apart. So I want your knees a little bit more than hip width apart, and your feet flat on the ground. Well, if you're wearing heels, it doesn't matter. Just, as close to flat on the ground as you can possibly get. And then put your hands on your knees, just at the edge of your knees, so it's kind of overlapping a little bit. Just sit there for a minute, and then breathe out. I don't want you to breathe in first. I want you to breathe out first. And when you breathe out as much as you possibly can. So in fact, so much so that you're actually going to feel your rib cage contract just a tiny bit. And before you inhale, hold that out for a second, and just be aware that your body's going to have a little hissy fit because it doesn't like to do that. You will get used to it over time. And it is a practice like everything else that we do. But just be aware that your body might go, no, you can't breathe out. You have to breathe in. You have to breathe in. But that's normally just, I've got this. It's just for a second or two. We're fine. And then just breathe in. So breathe out as much as you can. And hold. And then breathe in through your nose. And hold that for a couple seconds. Doesn't have to be long, just 2 or 3. And then breathe out one big old sigh. And then what you're doing is you're reincorporating fresh oxygen into your body, because when you hold your breath, you're recycling stale air, basically. And then just do that a couple times. So breathe in, and then hold it for a second or 2, and then breathe out. And then hold the out breath for a second or 2. And then see how you feel afterwards. Notice afterwards where the tension is. Are you still feeling the tension? And if you are, then just do it again. Sometimes it'll only take once or twice. Sometimes it'll take 3 or 4 times. So, but without knowing all the symptoms and what you're thinking about, where you usually find yourself doing this, etc., there's a few variables. Play with that. Let me know how you work out, and we'll go from there. And we can always talk about it, at another time too. So anyway, give that a shot. Let me know, and we will talk soon. Bye for now.